If you're wondering whether it's too late to start a garden in June, it's not. And I'm going to show you exactly what to plant right now. There's still so much you can grow, and some of the easiest, most rewarding food you can have all summer long gets planted this month. Today I'm going to walk you through 3 of the best things you can plant right now in June, plus a couple of bonus things I think you're really going to love, and how to keep the whole thing as simple and enjoyable as possible. If you've been wanting to start a garden but you're not sure you have the patience for waiting months for something to actually happen, beans are where I would start. They're genuinely one of the easiest things you can grow in a summer garden, and they give you results faster than almost anything else. You push the seed directly into the warm soil, no starting them inside ahead of time, no special setup, no complicated process, and within a week or so, you'll see them pushing up through the ground. That moment never gets old, and if you have kids, beans are the plants to start with. They love planting the seeds, and when something is actually growing a few days later, it feels like magic. And honestly, it still feels like magic to me too. There's something about seeing food push up out of the soil that never stops being amazing. There are 2 main types of beans I want to tell you about because they work a little bit differently, and knowing the difference is going to help you to decide which one fits your life better. The first is pole beans. These grow up instead of out, which makes them a wonderful choice if you're working with a small space, a container, or a raised bed where ground space is limited. They need something to climb, like a trellis, some stakes with twine, or even a fence, but in return for that small investment, they just keep producing beans all season long. The more you pick them, the more they make, and that's exactly the kind of plant I want in my garden at this stage of life. Something generous that keeps giving without needing constant attention from me. The second type is bush beans. These stay low and compact, and they don't need any support at all, which makes them incredibly easy to grow anywhere. The difference is that bush beans give you their whole harvest at once. So you'll go out one week and you'll have more beans than you know what to do with, which is wonderful because if you want a big batch to cook with or to share with neighbors, that's awesome. Just know that once they've given you that harvest, they're done for the season, whereas pole beans are going to keep going until the weather turns cold. I'm planting both in just a little bit, following the garlic and the cabbage that I'm just about to harvest. And if you're sitting there already thinking, okay, but I still don't know what kind of container to use or what soil to put in it, or where in my yard to even set it up, that's exactly the kind of thing I help people work through in my beginner garden planning sessions. We figure out your specific situation together, your space, your setup, and what's actually going to thrive where you live, and then you leave with a real plan instead of a pile of unanswered questions and conflicting information. It's 1 hour, and the link to book is in the description. Now let's keep going. Tomatoes are where a lot of people feel intimidated because suddenly gardening starts sounding complicated and expensive and like there are 100 ways to do it wrong. I completely understand that feeling, but honestly, June is one of the easiest times to jump in because someone else has already done the hardest part for you, and I want to explain what I mean by that. You're not going to start tomatoes or peppers from seed right now, and that's actually good news because it means less work for you right now in June. Tomatoes and peppers take a long time to grow from seed to a size to where they're ready to go outside, and that window has already passed for the season. So instead, you're going to look for small plants already started for you at your local garden center, nursery, or farmer's market. I was just at our local farmer's market and they had some absolutely beautiful tomato plants. So right now in June, I'm confident that you're going to still be able to find them. No matter where you live, whether you're in the South like me or somewhere with a shorter growing season, June is still a perfectly good time to get tomato and pepper starts in the ground. I've planted mine in June here in South Carolina plenty of times, so if you haven't gotten to it yet, please don't feel behind. I want to share something about how I'm growing my tomatoes this year because it's been the biggest change that I've made in a long time, and I think it could change things for a lot of you guys too. I've been growing tomatoes for over 20 years in containers on a Michigan deck, in the red clay soil of South Carolina, in raised beds, in grow bags, and through almost every single method, the same frustrations kept showing up. Inconsistent watering because I didn't have the time to fuss over them, inconsistent rain, plants that struggled in the heat, and basically much more maintenance than a busy life could always keep up with. So what I finally had to admit to myself was that I kept choosing methods that needed more from me than I could reliably give them. And the answer wasn't to try harder, it was to find something that didn't need me to always show up and be perfect. And I think a lot of us assume that gardening success comes down to discipline or having some kind of natural green thumb, but I've realized that it's really about finding systems that support your actual life instead of adding more pressure to it. So this spring, I started growing my tomatoes in EarthBoxes, and it has been a completely different experience. There's a water reservoir at the bottom, and the plant draws moisture up from the roots as it needs it, so the soil stays consistently moist without you having to monitor it or worry about it. You fill the reservoir every day or two by running a hose into the fill tube, and the plant handles the rest. My tomatoes are doing better than I've ever seen them at this stage. And what I love most about this method is that it works just as well for someone who has never grown a thing in their life as it does for a seasoned gardener, because it takes the guesswork completely off the table. If you've never grown tomatoes before and you want to start somewhere that feels genuinely achievable, I would point you towards cherry tomatoes. They produce faster than the larger varieties, they're forgiving, and the harvest is one of the most satisfying things about having a summer garden. You walk outside while dinner's cooking and you grab a handful off the vine. You eat one warm right there in the garden, and suddenly the whole thing starts feeling so worth it. They taste nothing like anything you're going to find at the grocery store. They're sweet and full of flavor. You can't even really describe with words what they taste like. They're so good. And the more you pick them, the more they're going to produce all season long. For peppers, the process is the same. You find a small plant at your local store or farmer's market, get it into warm soil or a container, and let the summer do the work. And if you're someone who's always wanted a garden but keeps talking yourself out of it, cucumbers are one of those plants that makes us feel capable, and I love that about them. They grow quickly in the summer heat, they're as easy as beans to grow, and the flavor of a homegrown cucumber is so far beyond what you're going to buy at the store that once you grow them once, you're going to want to grow them every single year. You can plant cucumber seeds directly in the soil right now because it's warm and they're going to germinate quickly, or you can find small plants at the garden center just like tomatoes and peppers if you'd rather skip the seed stage. Either way works beautifully. Cucumbers do like to climb, so give them something to grow up on like a trellis, a fence, or a simple stake system, and they're going to use the vertical space instead of spreading out across the ground. This keeps the plants healthy, saves space, and honestly makes the whole plant look really beautiful as it grows. The variety I grow is Tasty Green, and it's known for being exceptionally crisp, sweet, and juicy. It has fewer seeds, and it's perfect for slicing into salads, onto sandwiches, or just eating straight as a snack. If you want to make refrigerator pickles, you'd look for a pickling cucumber variety instead, and those seeds are easy to find at any garden center or hardware store. When I was at the farmer's market the other day, I noticed that they had both pickling cucumbers and English cucumbers, which are similar to the Tasty Green type that I grow. I'll have some options linked in the description for you too. One thing worth knowing is that cucumbers really do love warmth, so June is actually a wonderful time to plant them. You'll be harvesting cucumbers before you know it. Now let's talk about something that might be the easiest win in this entire video, and it's something you can literally put right outside your back door. Next up are herbs, and for herbs, my honest recommendation is to keep it as simple as possible, especially if you're just getting started. Go find small plants at your local nursery or garden center and put them in a pot or a planter somewhere close to your kitchen, and you can start harvesting that same day. I use the Vigo self-watering planter for my herb garden, but the main point is the closer your herbs are to where you actually cook, the more you're going to actually use them. You step outside, snip a few leaves of basil or parsley, and your dinner is better. That's one of the bigger shifts I've made over the years, and that's designing the garden around real life instead of designing my life around the garden. Choosing a self-watering planter in a close location make it so easy. Basil and parsley are wonderful places to start because they grow well in almost any climate, they're easy to care for, and the more you harvest from them, the more they grow. There are also herbs that you plant just once and they come back year after year on their own. Things like thyme, oregano, and lemon balm. And those are wonderful investments because you put them in once and they just keep giving. Now, alongside your herbs, if you have a little more space and you want to be pulling fresh salad greens all summer, here's what you need to know. For salad greens in the summer, the most important thing to know is that lettuce doesn't love the heat the way tomatoes and cucumbers do. When temperatures climb, lettuce wants to rush towards producing seeds rather than growing tender leaves, which is called bolting. And then the flavor can turn bitter. So in the summer, look specifically for what's called slow bolt lettuce, meaning it's bred to hold up longer in the heat. I'll leave suggestions in the description. Plant the seeds close together and give them a little shade in the afternoon if you can manage it, and harvest the leaves when they're still young and tender. If you can plant a small batch of seeds every couple of weeks, you're going to have a steady supply of fresh salad greens all summer. This is honestly one of those things that works beautiful in theory, but in real life, I don't always remember to do it either. So this year I'm putting it on my calendar instead of relying on myself to just magically remember. We eat salad almost every day in our house, so it's worth the 2 minutes that it takes to set a reminder. One more thing about lettuce, if you live in a place where summer is brutally hot and dry and you don't have shade, you may just want to wait until more towards fall to plant lettuce. I only started growing zinnias last year, and now I genuinely cannot imagine a summer without them. I grow these cut and come again ones, which means harvesting flowers for bouquets encourages the plant to produce more stems, essentially offering a continuous supply of flowers. I keep a vase of them on my kitchen counter all season long, and they last about a week after you cut them. There's something about having flowers you grew yourself sitting on your counter that makes the whole garden feel completely worth it. You just push the seeds directly into the soil in a sunny spot, even in a container or a raised bed like I did. You water them in and then mostly just let them be. Zinnias thrive in summer heat, they're incredibly drought tolerant, and they ask almost nothing from you. The pollinators absolutely love them too, which helps everything else growing around them. Zinnias are the hardest working flower in the summer garden, and they'll make you genuinely happy every time you look at them. Every single thing I talked about today, beans, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, herbs, salad greens, and yes, even zinnias, can be grown in containers. You don't need a big yard. You just need a sunny spot in the right container, and you can have a real productive, beautiful garden this summer. And if you're planting in June heat, I would really encourage you to look into self-watering containers because they take the pressure off both you and your plants, and you're not guessing about watering. The plants get what they need consistently, and you get to just enjoy the garden instead of stressing over it. If this video gave you a clearer picture of what you want to plant this summer, that makes me really happy. And if you still feel like you want someone to help you figure out what specifically makes sense for your space, your schedule, and where you live, that's exactly what I'm here for. My beginner garden planning sessions are 1 hour, completely personalized to your situation, and you leave knowing exactly what to plant, where to put it, and how to make it work for your real life. The link to book is in the description below. I also just published a video on exactly how I'm growing my tomatoes this year in those self-watering containers, the full setup, how the watering works, and everything. And if tomatoes are on your list this summer, that video is the place to start. I'll have it linked for you right here. If this video was helpful, pressing like means a lot because it genuinely helps other people who are looking for exactly this find it. I'll see you in the next one.